Okay, everybody, let's get started on Module 3. Now, Module 3 is a combination module, if you want to look at it that way. It's like a compound variable. We're going to look at situational and then path goal approaches to organizational leadership. Situational leadership, path goal theory. Okay, obviously, you can read here the submodule 3.1. We're going to look at the directive and supportive behavioral, especially dealing with Hershey and Blanchard situational model. Okay, we're just going to start getting into the core crux of it. Okay, and then we'll break down situational leadership in module 3.2 and 3.3. And then 3.4 and 5, we're going to deal with path goal theory. Okay, as it relates to not just the leader, which is you, obviously, but also the followers or subordinates. It's the same kind, or employees, I guess, same kind of phrase. Let's talk a little bit here about Hershey and Blanchard. Okay, the seminal source is 1969, obviously, and I kind of like this. It's a quote out of their article. Leaders match their style to the competence and commitment of the subordinates. Okay, now we're talking about a situational base, and most of you know what situation means. Okay, so what are we looking at here? Well, we're going to focus on situations. Situations not only include the internal, but the external environment in which the leader and the follower are involved in. Okay, and there's a little 2x2 matrix with a little sliding scroll. We'll talk about it here in a minute. That kind of help understand situational leadership a little bit better. And there's a heavy emphasis on the adaptive component to it. Adaptive meaning you. Okay, there's an old saying, does the individual deviate to meet the needs of the organization, or does the organization deviate to meet the needs of the individual, the subordinate, the employee, the follower? All right. I think there's a little bit of give and take, just like when a person jumps out of an airplane. Okay, they fall towards the earth, obviously, but you know what? In a very small, minuscule way, the person's actually pulling the earth towards them as well. Okay, just the earth has a larger mass, force equals mass times acceleration. You fall towards the larger body. Same reason we circle around the sun, the same reason the sun circles around the center of the Milky Way, because there's a larger mass there. That's that adaptive. The individual, the leader, will adapt his or her style based on, okay, and we'll talk about 4 different styles here in a minute, based on not just the needs, but based on the competency and the knowledge, or the knowledge and the skills, okay, and even somewhat internally on the motivation of the follower. And yes, the situational approach, or situational leadership, okay, it's used extensively in leadership training and development within the corporate world, okay, because it does open itself up very easily to dealing with different variables. Okay, and let me give you an example. You're a leader in a company like Caterpillar. Okay? You're heavy manufacturing, large earth moving equipment, and all of a sudden you switch and you become a leader at Coca-Cola. Okay, now can you use those same leadership skills in a different organizational environment? You might not be able to, because the environment may be different, the followers may be different. So the leadership skills you use will have to adapt with the changing environment in which you're in. Okay, I had a massive problem with that when I went from working at Caterpillar. When I decided to leave CAT and go into higher ed, I'm trying to remember exactly when it was. It was the end of May. I gave my notice beginning of May that I needed to change. I needed to do something different. And I'd already accepted a faculty position at Illinois State University, which is 50 miles from the corporate headquarters in Peoria there. Illinois State is at Bloomington Normal, or Normal to be precise. But anyway, and I was starting teaching a class that Monday morning, June 1st, for summer school. I mean, I literally went from a corporate adversarial environment into teaching principles of management to a bunch of 18-year-old freshmen. And let's just put it bluntly, my interactive style, from being in a very competitive, very kill or be killed environment into a higher educational environment with a bunch of 18-year-olds fresh out of high school, it was problematic. I had to learn to adapt my style. Okay, I was very directive and not very supportive at all. Let's talk about that. Situational leadership is based on directive and supportive dimensions. And we're going to get back to that task and relationship outcome that seems to keep popping up again and again and again, and it will. Okay. Each dimension must be applied appropriately in the given situation, the given environment. All right. I'd been used to a very, I remember the first day, you're going to laugh, but it's just, you got to understand me. Okay. It was a Monday morning. I finished up Friday at CAT. Monday morning, I'm used to being at work before 6 in the morning. So I head over to the College of Business there at Williams Hall, and all the doors are locked. I'm like, what the heck's going on? I can't get in. And if you know anything about, at least at the time, I don't know if it's true anymore, state universities in Illinois are patrolled, protected by the Illinois State Police. Okay. A lot of universities have their own police, force on campus. We do here at Piedmont too. But at that point in time, it's the state police, and I'm walking around this building pulling on doors. I can't figure it because I don't have my keys yet. I got my keys the first day there, and state police guy pulls up and says, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm trying to get in to go to work." He said, "We don't unlock the buildings till 8 o'clock in the morning. Ain't nobody supposed to be anywhere until 8 o'clock in the morning." I said, "Oh, all right." I guess I got 2 hours to blow. I went and found a coffee shop or something that was open. And that morning, my new boss, the chair, the management came in and said, "You showed up at 6 in the morning, didn't you?" And I said, "How do you know that?" He said, "Because the state police were having a good laugh about it, and they told the dean, and the dean told me." He said, "Don't show up before 8 o'clock until the doors are unlocked. We don't start teaching classes until 9 anyway." He said, "Just don't do it anymore." Okay, because I was used to very directive. You are, on the global side, it doesn't shut down just because it's 5 o'clock Central Time, where the corporate headquarters, it's in Illinois, if you didn't know that. The world doesn't, this is a global company. It doesn't shut down because it's 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. Okay. So you're used to dealing with stuff on a continuous scale. I came out of a very directive, supportive, not so much. And we'll talk a little bit about how we understand those. Obviously, 18-year-olds, if I got to explain this to anybody, 18-year-olds fresh out of high school, directive, man, you don't want to be too directive with them. Supportive, especially in an intro course. All right. And I'll talk a little bit here about how we look at this. Leaders evaluate employees to assess their competency and their commitment. Okay. Desire and knowledge, desire and skill, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So let's kind of walk through this just a little bit so we get an understanding. A leadership style, just a generic term. Okay. Situational fits in it. And so does everything else, from laissez-faire to transformational to authoritative. We'll talk, we'll talk about all these different styles here, servant leadership, all these things. The behavioral pattern of the individual who attempts to influence others. That is a generic phraseology of leadership. Now, remember that task and relationship we've been talking about it because it comes back again and again and again. In leadership, remember, we're trying to influence, okay? We're trying to move. If somebody wants to do it by themselves, we don't have to do anything. All right. I mean, there's no directive there. There wouldn't be. If the person knows what they're doing, know how to do it, and they want to do it, just leave them alone. Right. The only thing you can do is muddy up the water, a colloquial term. The only thing you can do is make it worse. All right. Directive, that's the task. Supportive, that's the relationship. So when you see directive going through situational here, okay, because we're going to cover this subtopic module, and the next two are going to be over situational. When you see the word directive, think task. When you see the word supportive, think relationship. Okay. Those are the two primary drivers. Okay, directive behavior, just so we get a little understanding. All right. Remember I said, at CAT, almost everything I did was directive. Help group members achieve goals in one-way communication. That's right. It's going top to bottom. Okay. We've got to get this done. We've got to get this done. Okay. Here's how we're going to do this. Here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. Okay. That's how it was. You gave directions. Okay. Because ultimately, you have the responsibility and the authority to make those decisions. And as you're getting an MBA, you're going to be in positions where you have the responsibility and the authority, but you also incur the risk. Okay. Yes, everybody loves to celebrate the win. Yes, when I win, it's all because of me. And when I lose, it's everybody else's fault. Doesn't work that way. Sorry. Okay. If there's a failure in the system, you're ultimately responsible because you're the one in charge. Right? That's why advanced education is the way it is. You establish goals and how to achieve them. You evaluate, you set the timelines, you define the roles. It sounds authoritative, and it kind of is. Okay. But in some retrospects, it needs to be that way. right? Because you are in a competitive environment, an adversarial environment, right? If we don't win, our competitors will win. If competitors win, they can put us out of business, and therefore it's in our self-interest for self-preservation, right? So in that environment, yes, it was somewhat very directive. Supportive, let's get a little definition. Supportive is more of a two-way communication. Okay. It's not only is information going down, but information's coming up, but it's not just directive information going down. It's inquisitive information going down. What do you think? This is my idea as leader, followers. What do you think? How can we add, am I going in the right direction? Do you think we're moving the right way? All right. I'm asking for your input. I'm not asking you to tell me what to do. That's that's more laissez-faire. We're not getting to that yet. Okay. You ask for input. It's a problem solving. There's praising, listening. It's more of a listening thing. Okay. Praising, unless you're going to do what a follower recommends, don't praise it, because then you just give off the air that you're just kind of just, hey, pat you on the head, good little boy, go away now because I actually listen to you. Okay. Listen to what they have to say. If it's something you know you're going to implement, praise it. Tell them that it's an excellent idea. That's definitely what we're going to do, but you better do it then. From a leadership perspective, it's like telling a child, do what I say, not what I do. The child ain't going to pay any attention to you. The child sees what you do. They're going to do the exact same thing and say, you do it, why can't I? Okay. So to get a better perspective about situational leadership, let's take a look at a little 2x2, little XY, okay, graph here. At the bottom is you. This is your style as a follower. The top is the follower as a leader. The bottom is you as a leader. The top is the followers. Okay. I like this one, especially because not only does it show each of the S1s, that's you, it also shows the corresponding D1s, that's the followers, in relation to their knowledge and skills. Okay. Red goes with red, orange goes with orange. You can pretty much figure it out. We're going to go from S1 to S4 and correspondingly D1 to D4. All right. Directive coaching, supporting, and delegating. That's the leadership style that you'll utilize based on the top part up above. All right, let me kind of walk you through each one of these so we can get a little bit of a better feel of this. Okay, when we talk about S1, the directive style, all right, remember, it's the red ones here. See where D1 above correlates with it? All right. You have high directive task, low supportive relationship. All right. Let's talk about this. To utilize S1, we know that the follower or the subordinate is D1, low competency, but high commitment. The individual really doesn't have the knowledge and skill. I mean, they may have some rudimentary ideas. You're not a blank slate, but they really want to learn. Okay. The leader focuses on communication of the goal. What do we have to achieve? Achieving the goal, achieving the goal. Okay, the individual's got a high commitment. Therefore, they're somewhat already intrinsically motivated. Maybe they're extrinsically motivated, which works short term, but they're motivated. Okay, so I don't have to spend as much time on supporting their behavior. I just have to get them focused on what's the goal to achieve, the goal to achieve. Okay. S2 is the coaching style. Now we utilize S2 when we see the subordinate is at D2. S2, high directive task, high supportive relationship. All right. Now, what does that mean coming from the follower, the subordinate? They have low to some competency in what they're doing. They've got some of the knowledge and skills that are necessary. Okay. They're not stars. They're not cash cows, if you guys understand what those two phrases mean. But they've got a low commitment. Okay. The leader will talk with the subordinate before he or she makes the decisions. And it is. The leader focuses on communication on both the goal and the supportive, more even social, I could put up here socio-emotional needs. Okay. The leader not only has to be somewhat encouraging, committing the person to keep working hard, keep working hard. I know you can do this. You've got the ability. Okay. But they also solicit input. Is there a better way of doing this? Okay. Are you getting, sometimes you say, we say low commitment. What do you mean? The person may be getting burned out. They may be doing the same job day after day after day after day for year after year. Right. They hopefully have more high competency by then, but they might not. Okay. But they may just be, 8 hours of work for 8 hours of pay kind of philosophy. All right. Then you need to coach them along a little bit. They've got the skills to do it. They just might not have the motivation to get it going. Okay. S3 is the supportive style, which correlates with D3. Okay. S3, low directive task, high supportive relationship. All right. Now we're getting into more of the supportive component. Moderate to high competency. The person knows what they're doing. Okay. They may actually know their job better than you know it. All right. They've got a variable commitment. The leader and the subordinate talk, and the leader allows the subordinate to make the decision. Okay. Almost a self-managed team kind of arena, right? Where, yeah, you know what you're doing. You show up for work every day, but you really put forth, the maximum effort for continuous improvement. The leader does not focus solely on the goals. Now it starts to slide more in the relationship because the worker knows what the goals are, knows what they need to do. And I put up here, the leader will delegate those day-to-day decisions. Okay. But is available if there's a problem that arises. My office is here. Come and see me. Okay. If there's something you need, come and see what it is. All right. The leader will delegate those day-to-day operations to the person that's on the shop floor. All right. Running production, assuming you're the plant manager from an operations standpoint. Right. But you're around. It's not like you just disappear. This isn't a laissez-faire where it's like, whatever happens, happens. No. Okay. And then part 4, S4 is the delegating style, which correlates with D4. Low directive task, low supportive relationship. High competence, high commitment. The leader is there if needed, but you know what? Subordinates are left on their own to do what they know they need how to do. That's my position. As associate dean, right? The faculty that work under me, high competence, high commitment. They know what they're doing, they love what they're doing, and they're very good at what they do. Okay. The leader offers less task input and social support. And I don't go around to everybody's office and say, you're doing a great job today. There's no need for that. They know what they're doing. Okay. If they need help, if they need information, if they need something, then I intervene. But they'll come to me. Right. They'll know beforehand that there's something that's not right they need to correct. I don't have to do after the fact, ex post facto, where something crashes and then you have to get involved in it. The leader lessens involvement in the planning, the control, and the goal clarifications. Okay. I kind of said, especially new faculty we hire, this is what I need you to teach. Can you do that? Yes. Do you know what you're doing? Yes. All right. Do you need help? Let me know. I'm here to help. Otherwise, go do what you know how to do. You're the professional. You give subordinates control and you refrain from intervention and unneeded support. Okay. The only thing you can do, and sometimes this is true, is you can set faculty, especially faculty, you can make them paranoid. Okay, I must be doing something wrong if he's coming to talk to me. If he's saying nice things to me, what is he going to know? No. There are times with some people, you just need to leave them alone and let them do their job. From a leadership perspective, okay, they'll give you a quality product because they're already in that area where they know what to do.